depending on where you're joining us from. This is Ooh, she came out all the way out. Hello, madame.
Hello,
You look gorgeous.
mademoiselle.
Can you wipe your screen a little bit to see if
Thank
it's because
you.
you're foggy?
Um,
What? No, wipe off
oh,
your screen. Just your screen.
I hear you. I try to
Oh,
figure out how to do it. I mean, if you get up and find something, hold on.
it's a frog tail.
Better.
Just a little. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you too,
You look quite
mademoiselle.
radiant.
Thank you. You too.
Oh,
I
thank
just
you.
threw something on,
I know, just
literally,
threw it on and ran into it, and it just.
literally. Anyway, how have you been doing?
It's been one of those days. I was just saying, well, I sent you something on Instagram. And I remember talking to you this morning. I was saying to you that my spirit felt a little heavy. And I read something. I don't know if it makes sense or there's any truth to it, but I sent it to you on Instagram. And it said there are people who, after they die, they have like, when they die, they have no one to mourn for them. And so random people are assigned the grief to
I
carry for
I
those
saw it.
people. So on days when you feel sad and you don't know why, just say, you know what, I'm carrying the grief for someone who didn't have anyone to grieve for them. I don't know if that's my situation, but it's been one of those days. But I'm happy because I've been trying to get my basement fixed. Like, drywall because it wasn't done. And I started it, but of course it never gone away. So a very good friend of mine came and assisted me. So the process has started. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, small wins. So we take them in strides. How have you been? How has your day been?
Yeah, I've been good. My day has been normal, but
Mhm.
I am celebrating normalcy these days. You
Amen.
know, yeah. So
Certain.
it's been a steady day, regular day. It's been good. I had breakfast all throughout the day because I got up and I made breakfast, and that's what I had until just a couple minutes ago.
Oh, nice. Wonderful.
So it's been a good day.
That's
And
good.
and also I spoke to a friend of mine. We haven't really gotten a chance to have like a good conversation in a while. So that was healthy as well. That was good.
That's all. It's always good to catch up with, especially people who like really pour into you. Like sometimes you're on your dates and and you just talk to some people that you haven't spoken into a while and you leave feeling full, like almost overflowing where you can go bless somebody else. So that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
awesome. I was
I
looking at
love
my
stuff
screen a while
like
ago and I'm like, what's that green thing? But I realized I have you on this other phone.
it's green screen.
It's green screen. Hello, everyone who's just joining us. Welcome to Jamaican Vibes and Culture. I'm Camellia, and of course, this is my best friend.
Hussein. We
And
can't see the chat.
I can't see it either. Did
Maybe
I?
nobody's chatting to us. Guys, say hi in the chat so we can see if it works.
I don't know. Yeah. So say hi, and we'll know if it's working. Oh, I think it's working. It's on my other phone. It's working. What are we talking about today, Ruth?
Today we are talking about, there was a little foreshadowing if you caught on. I was talking
Mm-hmm.
about what I had all day. So today we're talking about traditional Jamaican breakfast. I know Cam have some story. Maybe she's not ready for them go for an airplay, so I'm not gonna call her out to read that. But we can just discuss some of our favorite, and you're welcome to share the same in the chat below. And of course, at some point, if you're not Jamaican as well, you can let us know what you traditionally have wherever you are from. I'll lead since I had Jamaican breakfast. So I
Yes,
had
ma'am.
porridge, but it wasn't even to be honest, it probably wasn't even the traditional Jamaican porridge because I took a shortcut and I bought creamy wheat in a box. But it's the same process. It's
It's
the
the same
same
thing.
process. It's the same thing. It's the same process. So I had some porridge this morning. Normally, that goes well with some hardo bread or some Excelsior
Yeah,
crackers,
what?
like we said last time. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
have any of those, so I made fritters or flitters.
And
And for me, what I love about fritters is that you can make it whatever you want. Traditionally, it's usually with codfish, saltfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But for me, it's whatever I have and whatever I want. I particularly like mine with red herring. I have red herring, but I didn't use that today.
Oh, red
So
herring smells
I,
so nice.
it tastes so nice too. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But I had Grace Frankfurter. And so I cut them up small and I put them in there and I made my
Mm-hmm.
nice little batter. Because I love when food tastes like what they're supposed to taste like. So it was water, the flour, the franks, and a little bit of salt. And that was it. And I also wanted some protein. And I know my bestie has been having a lot of beans. So that's another option for people who, you don't want no tin mackerel because tin mackerel go well with fritters. Um, Color or cabbage goes well, but the bestie loves beans, so I had beans. Power to the bestie. So I had beans with my
Fritters.
fritters today. Yes.
That is wonderful. I think I don't know if I've ever made fritters. I think what I make is a version that it says that I call pancake, but it's just basically plantain or plantain. It's plantain that I blend up with flour and salt, and I fry that, and that become my fritters or my flitters. But you mentioned something a while ago about, oh my god, I don't remember what it was. I wanted to make a comment on it, but oh, porridge. You mentioned having porridge. I want to tell a story. You know the story, Ruth. So when I was much younger, um, I don't think I took to cooking as well as I like others around me did. And that's particularly because there was no creativity in how it was presented to me. You have to boil the water at this temperature and all that. So I never took to it. Anyways, there was this lady in my community.
Wait
She
a
used
minute, I
to,
want you to finish your story, but I want to point out quickly. I wish Jamaican and boil water, but it's to this temperature. You boil it and you say, all right, it's ready. Anyway, continue.
yeah, but I
But
never
I
know when
get
it
you.
ready. As far as I'm concerned, you have to get to a certain point. So there was this woman in my community who she would beg the clothes off a blind man's back. She was, oh my God, it was atrocious. And so one day she saw me going home. She's from Kingston, yeah? And us country people, we don't talk like that. And she's like, Camel, Camel, where you go now? And me say, me I go home. Oh, you have another bag. So me say, me I go home, go make porridge. First time me I make porridge in my life, and I was going home to attempt it. She get some my patch can give me now. So me no want carry go gear and something in her. She you're pitting a big woman and something. She just stop force you. And then I just got annoyed. I'm like, every time you see people with something, you're begging it. So I went home, you see, I put on the corn milk on the pot, on the fire for about 5 minutes. And sweetening carry go give.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wrong pan meal.
Needless
No.
to say, she never begged me no more porridge after that.
But then when you don't want to do anything as a kid, you just do it wrong. From the first time they ask you, just do it wrong deliberately. So nobody
Listen,
wants you to do it. But you
about
can make porridge now, right?
I don't know if I tried making peanut porridge one time and it turned out it tasted like something. I don't remember what the person said it tasted like. The other person tasted. So I don't really make porridge. I don't really make porridge. My mom or my sister usually make it. But I
Okay.
like porridge. I like hominy corn and
I love family.
I like plantain porridge. I like banana porridge. I like that's it. I don't like cornmeal porridge. It burns my stomach, I find.
Oh, I don't mind cornmeal porridge at all. I just find that when I eat porridge, or yeah, when I eat porridge, I tend to be hungry. You don't drink porridge. The way we make porridge is not you might not
Yeah,
be
that's
chewing, but you're
but you
eating
eat.
your
That
porridge.
is true.
Yeah. So I find that I get hungry, except for today. I don't know, maybe something's happening with my diet where I don't want too much food. I don't mind that. But I don't know. For me, and I don't know if this is popular, but when times were a little bit harder than usual,
Hmm.
a porridge that was made that to this
Oh
day,
my God!
I
Don't tell me rice porridge.
girl me eat rice porridge, but that is not even the one.
Flour porridge.
Ah,
What? That thing will leave you binded and bounded.
what is this?
Shit. But me tell you something. The Jamaicans have a saying that when things thin, you peeling skin thin.
Feeling, you
So
feel.
our parents didn't have much, and they realized that we were going to go hungry, and then like I have a little flour because you could always buy flour. Flour is cheap, and I have a little
Mhm.
milk, so I can boil the flour and put some condensed milk.
Listen, um,
Oh
listen.
my god. Like you couldn't give me rice porridge to drink, no. But when I was drinking at the time, I like when I got to and you just chew the little pieces of rice.
No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm somebody who loves sweet and savory together. Thus, I love Asian cuisine and all any cuisine that really taps into that. But
Hmm.
sister love, the sweet porridge just never sat well with me
Yeah,
at
the
all. The rice porridge never
rice
sat
porridge
well
and the
with
flour porridge was something else. But
me.
peanut porridge, I like peanut porridge too. Even when I was allergic to peanuts, I used to drink peanut porridge. Because I don't think my allergy was going to kill me.
Severe.
It would top up my throat and all that. But I drank peanut porridge
Just
still.
wow. I can't swallow. It's gonna affect my breathing shortly, but
But I'm
it's
gonna
not
drink.
gonna kill me.
Yeah,
So
it not kill me. But me used to drink it still. So peanut. So we have all sorts of porridge. So you have peanut. We mentioned cornmeal. Oats is another one. I never
oats, yeah.
liked oats porridge. I think I
I've
felt
grown into oats,
it. I felt it.
but I've stopped eating oats too much these days. It doesn't like me, so I don't like what doesn't like me.
Yeah, it makes it bloated. So peanut, oats, plantain, but banana, rice, flour. What we leave out?
Arrowroot, I don't know
I,
if you know that.
I've never had it, but I've heard of it. So there's arrowroot,
Yeah,
and then there is um. Oh my father! Creamy
uh,
wheat is another porridge that is the same one that you
which I
made this
had
morning.
this morning.
Um, I think you can pretty. I don't know, not pretty much use anything, but there are wide. There's a wide variety of stuff that you can use to make porridge. You
Yeah.
mentioned fritters or fritters. That's another breakfast item. But one thing about Jamaicans, we do not eat. You know, like how in North America, you got a cupcake and a muffin with with a cup of coffee. That's not us. Yeah,
Mm.
we have a whole day ahead of us. So for breakfast, we're eating boiled food. So provision with
Yes.
dumpling and yam and banana and ackee and saltfish or saltfish rundown or
Stew chicken,
stewed
curry
chicken,
chicken,
curry
stew
chicken
fish.
for breakfast.
For breakfast. Not to mention, we love our greens, so a callaloo with cabbage, not without
Hmm.
with some pak choy sometimes.
I made some of that this today, but it wasn't for breakfast. At the time I had it was almost after 4. But I did some veggies, some steamed veggies, and then I baked some potatoes. I roasted some
Mhm.
potatoes and just, just pan it up. And then I made orange juice from scratch. So I juiced some orange and I had freshly squeezed an orange juice. So
Mm,
yeah, it was quite good. It was
it
quite good.
sounds good. It sounds
But you know
it
what
sounds great.
you know what the best breakfast is?
Mm-mm.
Overnight. Like on a Sunday. When
Sunday,
you do
Monday.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, as long as it was prepared the night before. And then, oh my gosh, Auntie
Tell
June
me if you're
promised.
saying your favorite thing that I'm thinking. Go ahead, let me
Oh,
see if you're
Auntie
gonna
June
say it.
promised me and she hasn't given me overnight dumpling that you cut on Friday
That is
next day.
fried,
Oh,
refried overnight. So
hallelujah.
boiled dumpling that is fried in the morning.
Repurposed. We repurposed the
Listen,
dumpling. It's the best thing ever.
the best tasting, and it goes with all the protein, all the side or the protein that I would have that we'd have mentioned earlier.
Everything. Some stewed
Everything.
chicken, some herring, some fish. Anything you put it
Mhm.
with, it was good with it. Roast
It's like
breadfruit is another one. When roast
roast
breadfruit in
breadfruit is another
season,
one.
and you
Mhm.
either roast it or you fry it or you boil it. Yo, breadfruit
I love
diverse,
boiled breadfruit.
breadfruit versatile. You know?
Yeah, man.
In this life, we need to be breadfruits.
Be a breadfruit, and
Be
if
a
when breadfruit get ripe, you can use it make pastry.
be
Breadfruit
a
is everything.
breadfruit.
Be a breadfruit. What was I going to say? Oh, and yam and bananas that we have for breakfast as well. So
Mhm,
even the yams, if you have excessive, if you cooked an excessive amount, you have extra yams like you would deliberately make extra dumplings so you can have them the next morning.
mhm.
You can actually fry those as well, the same way you would fry
The
the
yeah
overnight
the but.
dumpling. And
Mhm. Yeah, man. I only put oil, but we were healthy because by the end of the day, you walk that off, and you. But the thing is, the dinner is going to be as heavy as the breakfast was, and the lunch in the middle heavy too. So it's
We
a
eat
heavy set
heavy.
of people.
We eat heavy. But you know what is true? I think the modernization of the world, which definitely includes Jamaica,
Mm-hmm.
causes us not to do some of the things that we normally or naturally would do. And that is why the heavy eating now becomes a
A
problem.
problem. That's
Because
true.
for us as kids, well, we forgot to talk about eggs and stuff. I mean, everybody eat them egg at morning time. It's just that we would pick up our eggs most times. The chicken
From
would lay.
under
Yeah,
the fold, but
man.
yeah.
Sometimes it warm same way, so you can have your fried egg, your boiled egg, your whatever. But I
Mm-hmm.
was saying though, oh, I fried plantain. How forget this? Anyway, come. What's happening?
Yes, it's finished, and then
I
we
would not
can we
even
can
mention fried dumpling, Johnny cake. Hello.
we'll come back. We'll come back.
We'll come back. Yes, but I was saying based on the hearty meals that we'd have in the morning, we have
Mm-hmm.
to remember that our people, even those who would go into offices, they work hard at home. So even if you were going to go into the office,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes based on where you lived, you'd have to walk for a portion of the journey before you would get transportation to go.
Yup.
And for the rest of us who you go to school, you work your farm, so you're busy. As kids come, I don't.
Yup.
You used to carry water, but we used to have goats and stuff,
Me
and you
too.
had to move them in the morning and
Yup.
carry water in the morning. So, sweetie, even if you had three dumplings
By
and
the
two
time you
bananas,
done walk, you walk off the dump. Is it that's so true, Ruth? And I think so. Maybe we need to shift how we eat. I think maybe we've shifted how we eat breakfast somewhat, especially uptown Kingston and something. I think we've shifted because we're not moving as much as before. But even going back to the bread and plantain, I didn't know that plantain wasn't a protein until I was in it. I was much older.
and that's why we had it as for truth,
We had
for
dumpling. We had the fried dumpling with the plantain. We had the bread with the plantain. We had the crackers with the plantain. So I grew up thinking plantain was protein until
first
I'm
of
like,
all.
mm-hmm,
First of all, see, you see, Adventism and going to NCU, no, I'll be like, oh, protein, what's the carb? Da, 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 da. Before that, sweetie, who's paying attention?
we're
Your
just
belly
eating.
full.
That's
You're
it.
just eating. So when I went to NCU, my alma mater, and even though the little plug yourself is say it was a lot of carbs, now that me think about it. Because veggie meat really isn't giving you much protein. So I have to call
Mm-hmm.
it spade a spade.
Yeah.
However, that's where we kind of learned about, portion and how much, like, how many servings of this do you want and what's the protein that you would like. And so in our brains, we started being like, oh, okay, so we need extra amount of protein, extra
Mm-hmm.
amount of vegetable, more carbs. But carbs is usually cheaper and more filling. So you stock up on those, especially when you don't have a lot of money.
That's right. And if you've joined us, you can tell us what your favorite breakfast is, whether you're Jamaican or not. If you're from another country, tell us where you're from and tell us what your breakfast looks like. I was going to say in the morning, but typically that's when you have breakfast. Yes. But tell us what your breakfast looked like. But on those mornings, Ruth, when we never had the ackee and the saltfish and the stewed chicken, it was bread
It
and
was
plantain, as I mentioned, or fried dumpling, because you always seem to have flour in the house.
bread.
Fried dumpling. Speaking of that, I don't know if I should tell a story. But I don't fry dumpling well because I apparently have to cover it in oil, and I don't like that much oil, so maybe that's why I can't fry dumpling well
You
or
don't
Johnny
have
cake.
to, but
But I remember the first time that I decided I was going to make fried dumplings for somebody. Look here, I found them in the bin afterwards. They were so tough. You could use them to fight war because I didn't put any baking powder. Baking powder?
hmm
I didn't put
but
any baking powder in it.
my question, see, I noticed that you
Hey,
keep cooking.
Jay.
You keep cooking for other people. When you're trying out new things, you're just so brave and
Girl,
so
in my head, I
cold.
had it.
The
And let me
others
say,
of us
mhm.
try to sample it ourselves and say, all right, we need to work on this for my offer. So not you though.
Not me. No, no, no. I'm an expert. Let me say hello to Jay. Hey, Jay. How are you? Thanks for joining. Um, no,
Jay,
no.
you don't see anybody else here.
He doesn't know your name. This is my best friend Ruth, Jay. um, no, Ruth. I'm not like that. I'm not operating from that place. I'm coming out as an expert because I have so much belief and confidence in myself that I'm like, if I'm gonna fry dumpling, I'm gonna fry dumpling. Yeah, whether it's my first, second, or third time, I'm gonna fry a dumpling. And so I went out and I put down my best foot. I'm gonna serve my fried dumpling with plantain and something, like cup of tea and all.
We know you're there for the aesthetic, so it was
It
beautiful.
was beautiful, girl, until I was emptying the garbage later in the day. I'm like, no, me dumpling them this.
But I keep asking, I'm not get no answer. Did you eat any of those stuffed dumplings?
My dumpling, of course, me eat them. Of course, I ate them. They were
Yeah,
supposed to, which is why I kind of never felt anyway when I found them in the bin, right? Because I'm
you
like,
suffered as well.
and everybody have a kind of jack on when I'm
Yeah, trust why.
trying to eat one. And so, yeah, so I don't think I cook Jamaican like that. I don't cook a lot of. I'm good, thanks. Hey, best friend. So I don't think I cook a lot of Jamaican food like that, but a Jamaican breakfast I will always go for. Oh my gosh, one of the things that we used to have was kidney and beans and liver. Look here.
And
I
try pan
loved
beans too.
tripan bean. I loved liver so much that every Saturday morning I would get liver delivered to me from Juicy Beef. Juicy Patty, Juicy Patty used to have liver and fried dumpling and something every Saturday morning for a number of years. I would get liver and fried dumpling with a little bit of callaloo on the side for breakfast. Until one day I decided I'm gonna cook liver myself. Look here, I have not had liver since. I have not had liver since because when I looked at the thing and I'm like, this is an animal intestine that I'm about to eat. I
Not
throw away
liver
the
is
whole.
not the intestine.
It's the inside of an animal, right? And when I looked at the thing and it just looked, I'm like, you. I throw out the whole pot and I never had liver again. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I've never been a fan of liver. And so by the time I hit high school and I started learning more, I was like, I'm not eating anything from inside the animal. You're filtering out stuff that means something. Like it's when you're sifting things, some things are left behind. Like
Yeah, but
I don't want that. But when I
mhm.
was younger though, I used to eat tripe and beans, which I stopped as well because as I say, I didn't want anything from inside
I loved
an
tripan
animal.
bean. I loved tripan bean. I mean, I wouldn't have it, no, but I loved tripan bean. And then, Jamaican have this thing where they tell you kidney is good for you or liver is good for you
Liver is
because
good for you.
it's good. I'm like, me, it's
Especially if
okay.
you're anemic, it's good for you.
But that's animal blood. I don't need that kind of animal blood in my system.
Well, I mean, it's assisting. It's either
Eh,
here nor there. If you can eat any other part of the animal, I'm like, okay.
That's true. That's true. I don't eat animal, no. But another thing, Ruth, is that we used to drink a lot of milk growing up. And it's not
Yes.
like milk that you buy. It was cow's milk or goat's milk. And this cow
Directly from the animal.
directly from the cow. There was this gentleman in my community named Mas Deacon. He died recently. And every single morning, he liked me. I was a likable child. Yeah. I don't know if I'm a likable adult, but I was a likable child. And every morning, he would bring me a thing of cow's milk. And when you come, you see all the little thing on the top and something
The
until.
foam.
And I loved cow's milk because you'd go and you put it on the fire and warm it, and then you put a little salt over it and drink it. Until one time, I think I was doing agriculture in high school, and we went on a farm, and they were milking the cow. And they were milking the cow so much that blood started coming out of the cow's nipple, and they just put it in the thing. I'm like, how much of that mass D can give me for drink, Jesus?
Mercy. Mercy. I can get why it could make you feel queasy, but when you start even thinking about it, I mean, six or one half dozen because
No,
it's
man.
still built from inside the animal anyway.
No,
So
man.
anything in the animal blood in the milk. So,
Oh,
but
girl.
I guess why it would make you squeamish. The same or milk person, at least the person I remember was Presto, way over the hill, and you
Mm-hmm.
would get our milk as well in glass. You know, like when you watch movies and you see the milk
The
in the
glass
glass
bottle,
container,
yeah.
it's the same thing. And so yeah, we'd scald it. And
Mm-hmm.
then you get the little thing at the top cam, which
You
I guess
just,
you're supposed to throw away. But as
yeah.
kids, we used to eat it because it tasted sweet.
You? I'm
No,
sorry.
yuck my
Let me
yum.
not yuck your yum.
No,
I'm
yuck
sorry.
my
I'm
yum.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. And goat's milk. I never liked goat's milk. I never
It was
liked it.
great.
I did not like goat's milk for some reason. It just, I think cow's milk had a fresher taste to it. Goat milk is
It-
a little on the sweeter side, so I never liked that. But we
yeah,
had a
and
lot of milk growing up.
yeah, a lot of milk. I mean, I'm not sure what it does back then. I mean, even now they're saying, oh, it's for strong bones and teeth. I don't know about that.
Can I tell you?
But
Or finish?
no, you can go ahead, cut me off.
Apparently, this whole thing with cow's milk, it's probably a conspiracy, I don't know. It's that farmers in the US had a problem. They got to a point where, nobody was buying the cow and the milk and whatever, whatever. And so it was a campaign, an advertising campaign to sell the cows and something and to sell cow's milk. And it became this whole thing and it became a part of our diet. This campaign was so good. I love a campaign that is so good. You see, change our culture. I love those. And this
Got
campaign was
milk.
so good. It changed the
Mhm.
culture in terms of milk drinking because we're not supposed to be drinking the milk from another animal. It's produced for its offspring, right? Humans are the only people who drink another animal's milk. So we're not supposed to, but they did such a good job.
And then who said we're not supposed to for somebody who's Bible believing as you? Because uh, even when the reference is made of, I guess it was it Canaan, however, it's filled with milk and honey. That's a good thing.
But it
Like
never
you
say
want,
it never says
go ahead.
it never said it was cow's milk. But I think the reference to milk
Whichever
and
milk.
What wait, the reference to milk and honey is not literal milk and honey. It's just that at that time, milk and honey were seen as delicacies. They were seen as precious things. So if it were in our time now, it would be referred to as something else. But milk and honey
Like
was
what?
um I don't know, like something that we hold dear. Diamonds, it would be diamonds and it would be all these different things. In that time, milk and honey was top quality. It referred to like all these different things. And so milk and honey is not literal milk and honey, based on my
But it was top.
understanding.
But if it's top quality from then, the point I'm driving home still is that even though they had this campaign that it's good for bones and calcium or whatever, it
Mhm.
was not new to anyone. That was something from many, many centuries before, where people were
But if
having milk.
I mean, none of they were having the milk. I think you just made reference to the milk. I don't think they were actually having the
Well,
milk.
go back into the Bible, and when you're doing your live on Friday, she does another live, guys. You want to tune in for that one. It's called A Promise a Day. She also wrote a book. So if you do want a devotional, A Promise a Day, then you can also, get a copy of it. If you're in Jamaica, I can sell you one. I have some copies. If you want to purchase, you can go online. That's a shameless plug. So she'll come back on Friday and talk to us a little bit about milk and honey. I don't know what promise is there. Promise was that there was milk and honey in the country, so we can explore that because people that drink milk long time.
Okay. I'll make note of that. So whether or not I'm talking about a promise linked to milk and honey, I'll I'll include that in whatever presentation I'm doing for Friday evening. But yeah, anything else that we're missing, Ruth, in terms of breakfast?
Breakfast, I'd say breakfast. Let's go through
Crackers
the
and tea.
tea. We need to pause at
Oh,
tea
tea.
though.
Yeah, yeah, tea. We talk about tea all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, we just need to talk about tea because for us, um, and me not even just talk about honey, what you use to sweeten your tea. We had different things. So when we're talking about tea, we're not necessarily referring to any fanciness that anybody else. What are you laughing about? I'm talking about random bush that you normally just steep and have as tea. We're talking about lime leaves, the
Sour
physical lime
sop.
itself, lemon, soursop leaves. Um, what's this next one that we just the
Guaco. Fever grass.
fever? I
What?
love fever
I have
grass,
fever grass
wild
here.
basil. I don't know if you remember wild basil, Cam.
No.
It's so good.
Serasi.
Seriously, smoke and track. What do you
Okay. No,
mean?
I don't know that. But I was
You need to get
laughing
some smoke and track.
I was laughing because I saw a video on Instagram not too long ago where this white guy, he's married to a Jamaican, and he's like, he had a tray with 4 cups, and he's like, my Jamaican wife asked me for tea, and that can be anything. So he was making all kind of things. As long as it's a hot beverage, Jamaicans refer to it as tea. So when I came here, that was one of the culture shifts that I had to make because when I mentioned tea, I'm just talking about a hot beverage. until I realized that people had coffee and they had cocoa and they had all, and they named them differently. And so you had to be very specific. But when Jamaicans tell you about tea, they're talking about any hot beverage outside of soup.
Yup,
Pretty
that
much.
is true.
Pretty
And
much.
sometimes we even add tea to the end of it just in case you don't get it. To the
Cocoa
point
tea,
where we have this we
chocolate
not drink
tea.
coffee, tea, mango
My God,
time. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. I was going to say something about, oh, so like even for breakfast, if you had nothing else, if your parents had nothing else to give you to go to school for breakfast, no, you're getting a cup of tea. Whatever bush they
Absolutely.
find, they're going to use it to make some tea. Have you had busy tea?
Of course. First of all, remember that busy. I had the tree that you could get the busy from. So
Mm-hmm.
you get it, you dry it, you grate it, and you make your busy tea. Yeah, man, I had busy tea. But you had to be careful with that because if you don't get it right, you can poison off yourself, even though it's good for you. It
It's
can
good for
help you
poison.
if you've been poisoned. Yeah.
Oh, I have busy here. I have busy here, but busy is good for like if you think that you've been poisoned or something, you drink some busy tea and you're good. Now my teas, they're all fancy. I have all sorts of Oh my gosh, I went to the hotel last week and their brand of tea was called Camellia. I don't know if I showed you. So
You did show
they
me.
had black tea, they had green tea, they had it wasn't orange peak or something. They had four types of tea that was, and I took out every single one out of the hotel room and brought it.
Listen, listen. Are you a Jamaican if you don't take something from the hotel when you're leaving? Are
Mister,
you?
I took all of them. I'm like, I'm gonna taste all of these to see what they actually taste like. But Camellia is actually a flower, just so you know my name. I'm a flower, an evergreen flower. I keep blooming. Well, yeah, I keep blooming. So,
Wow.
anyways, yeah. But I think we mentioned this in some episodes before where tea is a cultural thing. It's a traditional thing. We
Yeah.
probably got it from the British, but it's
Yeah.
something I hold dear to my heart. I love tea so much. I
I think
find
all
comfort
Jamaicans
in
hold it
tea.
there.
Hmm?
Mhm. No man, go ahead. I was saying I think most, if not all, Jamaicans hold tea there. That's why we tea fixes everything. You're feeling a
Everything.
pain, drink some tea.
Headache,
Drink
footache,
some
belly
tea.
ache, toothache, heartbreak, death,
Listen,
dying, whatever. Have a cup of tea.
have a cup
Have
of
a
tea.
tea. Yeah.
Have a cup of tea. So
Um,
for us, as you mentioned, we definitely had a lot of tea. It doesn't matter what else was happening. And it also meant that we could have the carbs with the tea, and that was a good breakfast. So we could have some overnight fried dumpling with tea. That's a great breakfast. You could
mm-hmm.
have some crackers with tea, great breakfast. Bulla and tea. And you might have
Breakfast.
pear, avocado, great breakfast. You know, so whatever you're having, and our parents, we could not how we were bright enough to even say we didn't want tea. Even as adults now, if we
Even
get up and we're like, no, we're fine, you're like, no, you cannot leave the house. Even a cup of tea.
girl,
Even
even a
a
cup
cup
of tea.
of
For a
tea.
long time, I didn't drink tea in the morning, and my mother would have a fit. Like, yeah, go through the whole day and something. But I was going to say something prior to this about tea.
Oh
Oh
no.
no, bread and pear or whatever. And we used to just bread and pear and whatever. No, it's branded as toast and avocado
Wait.
toast and
Avocado toast.
bread and pear
I know. And even when they're stacking it with their eggs, we've been having that for
for
years.
years. Two, three egg, you
Mhm.
put it in there, you, girl.
You push out your avocado and you slap another slice of bread. What do you mean?
And then sometimes we never had anything more than the bread and the tea. And used to dip the bread in the tea. Oh God, what I thought something soggy. I
Listen.
hate it so much.
Look, I know me do it. I love it. I don't purchase bread, but when I
Mm-hmm.
visit my friend, I eat bread. We all know this. And if I go to a restaurant, me eat the bread, but
Me
I
eat the
don't
bread too.
carry home bread, right?
Same here,
But
yeah.
listen, nothing like some
Hado,
hardo bread with some butter. What do you
girl, especially if you get it hot. You get the oh goodness, you get it hot and you put the
listen?
butter on it just a
Oh my
melt.
God. We used to get some bread back in the day, Camellia, some hard old bread. I don't know, maybe your knives were dull, but like you couldn't even cut it straight. It
Mm-mm,
just
just
had
chaka
jagged
chaka.
edges.
Yes,
Yes.
man, chaka
Oh,
chaka.
and sometimes you just squeeze it like this.
I still do that. Like when I eat bread when I'm home, I'll roll it into a ball and then bite it. I don't know why I do it, but Yeah, but I
The
don't buy bread like
African
that no
in
more.
you, the African in you. But it
Probably the
changes the
African in me.
texture, so it's not just like a little soft thing. It feels firm. It has
Yeah,
texture.
it has texture. It's just tight, and you have to bite into it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Those were good days, though, Rose. I think at the time,
Yeah.
when we never realized we were poor, but at the time, when you look back, you're like, but no, it's top quality food.
Top
Top
quality
quality
food.
food. You pay $7 add for one two slice of bread with piece of pear.
First of all, remember that when we want extra guac, when you have to pay for extra guac, what do you mean when I'm eating an entire avocado by myself as
Not
a
sure. I
child?
guess because I'm vegetarian, most people here, I find like most places here will give me the guac for free because you're vegetarian, so them just put it in as a something. But outside of that, you're paying for that one spoonful of mashed up avocado, and
That's not even a slice.
they probably pay $5 for the avocado if that much, and they're buying it in bulk, so it's probably about $2, and they're selling you one spoonful for $3.
Business, supply and demand.
Supply and demand. You're right. I'm trying to think of anything that we missed in terms of
Breakfast.
breakfast.
We've spoken about some of our favorite breakfast items. We've
Yeah.
spoken about the carbs. We've spoken about the protein. We've spoken about tea. We've spoken about the whole dish itself. Um, I think we're good. I think we've pretty much covered like the main breakfast items in Jamaica.
Yeah.
I
I
think we
think
have.
I think one thing though, you know how like breakfast breakfast has a time in other places. Breakfast is your first meal of the day. Whatever time you eat it is breakfast.
Yes.
Whatever time you're eating it, that is when you're breaking your fast and that becomes your breakfast.
Exactly, but that's the next thing to see how we view breakfast. Like these items are known as breakfast. So if it was cooked for breakfast, even if I had it for breakfast then, and even if I had something else for lunch, but I'm having it in the evening, I'm having
My
breakfast in
breakfast
the
for
evening.
dinner.
I'm having
Yes.
breakfast for dinner.
Yup, that is true. That is true. It can't transition. It cannot make the
Mm-mm.
transition. If it was prepared for breakfast, it is breakfast. That is so true.
Exactly. So that's why even when we're having our Sunday Monday, that is why it's Sunday Monday. So you know I'm having this for breakfast, but it's truly Sunday Monday. It's my Sunday dinner I having for Monday
Monday.
breakfast.
That's right.
And
That's
what
right.
it, so I don't like old food, but Sunday Monday tastes great, especially with a good cup of tea.
If you think it tastes great on Monday, check it all up on a Wednesday.
No, girl, that's right.
Check it on a Wednesday. You want the
No,
best of
stop.
it? Roll it over to on a Thursday. Oh, everything is just marinated. All the flavors have come together, and it's an explosion of just
Explosion indeed. It's about to be spoiled.
no. Them not spoil. You're preserving them properly. Oh, girl, try. Oh, anyways, I can't convince
I
you.
would have had old food to that extent in my various weight loss journey, on my various weight loss journeys,
Mm-hmm.
where you do the meal prep and you have the old food just stocked in the fridge, just like that to eat. So what I do now though, just to
Mm-hmm.
segue a bit, because we'll soon wrap, and I don't know if Jay is still here and wants to share what he has for breakfast, his favorite breakfast. But what I do now, I still prep stuff, but they're not cooked. So any
Mm.
protein for years because I was vegetarian like with my bestie, but
Mm-hmm.
the meat called, the
And
flesh called, and
she
I answered.
answered.
And I answered. So I started, bringing home meat because I'd eat protein, but it would be protein prepared outside of my home, and I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
bring home any raw meat. But these days, I'm like, no, I want to know what I'm eating. I prefer that, so I purchase it from somebody specific, and I come home, I season it up, and then I package it and put it in my freezer. So that's how I prep. So even my vegetables, the ones that you can cut them and they still
Mm-hmm.
stay fresh, and you have your paper napkin to help with absorbing extra liquid and stuff. I prep those. So when I'm ready to make a salad, I'm literally just taking up stuff, making it. When I'm ready to cook something, I'm literally just taking out something, putting it in the pot, and I have a couple minutes for that. So I like freshly cooked food.
I was going to say I like food, but I don't know if I like food like that. But like the other day I cooked, I think I overestimated or underestimated the rice I put in the pot. I cooked too much rice. I made seasoned rice with ackee and saltfish and pumpkin. And I made too much. And I think I made it on Sunday. And I had the last of it on Friday. Yeah, and it was still so good. So good. Yeah, I made it last week's. Oh shoot, it was last week Friday. It was the Friday before actually that I made it. Yeah, and I had the last of it on Friday. What do you think I'm gonna throw my food? Girl.
Yeah,
No, it was properly stored in the fridge and I heat it up every time. Whatever decided that it was going to go in there while it was in the fridge, I heated it out. Yeah. And it was
just
delicious.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it was. I'm sure
Yeah.
it was. I'm happy
Anyways,
for you.
I think we've exhausted the breakfast, the topic
I
of Jamaican traditional breakfast.
Yeah, I think we have.
The chat
Um,
wasn't so festive today at all. Where the people them
no, it
gone?
never so festive today. Maybe them not eat breakfast. It's never too festive, but I guess we'll catch them again another time. But the good thing about it, we're talking about traditional Jamaican breakfast, and a lot of times when we mention traditional stuff, some of those things would have changed. This has not changed. This
Yeah.
is still the same way that we eat right here in Jamaica, and it sometimes take people by surprise when you get a whole of fried fish in the morning. But to be honest with you, we're doing it right because if we eat like that and we are able to move our bodies enough, we're able to exercise, then
Hmm. Burn it
we're,
off.
we're yeah, we're fine. We're doing
Yeah.
great. Jay
Absolutely.
Jay is not talking to us. I was asking what his favorite breakfast is, but he's not saying anything. So Camellia, wanna wrap?
Yeah, so thank you for joining, all those who joined us this evening or this afternoon. Thank you for joining. Thank you for taking your time to be here with us. We appreciate it. And don't forget to go and follow the page Jamaican Vibes and Culture so that we can start doing the live from there. Until next week, we're not sure what we're going to talk about next week yet, but
Not
come
yet.
back.
No.
Yeah, I think we're coming back next week. I might be busy, but I'll make the time to show up to make an appearance. But come back next week and we'll be here. Thank you so much, Ruth, for doing this with me every week.
Anytime.
I appreciate you.
Anytime. Thanks to you too. Appreciate you. And thanks to everyone who has joined. Until next time. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.